Welcome to Tiger Tracks, your home for the best of LSU athletics. And now your hosts, Jordy Holtberg and Bill Frankes.
Hello, Tiger fans everywhere. Welcome to Tiger Tracks. Yes, he is Bill Frankes. I am Jordy Holtberg. Great to be with you. Thanks so much for making us a part of your viewing pleasure. Not the greatest of weeks for LSU football. A tough loss against Auburn. Things just didn't go LSU's way, but that's in the past. Time to focus ahead to the Florida Gators in the Swamp.
Absolutely. I think in conversations that I've had with the players this week, they're excited. They want to put the past behind them.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to playing in one of the iconic venues in the SEC, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, the Swamp. So hopefully the batteries recharge. The Tigers working hard, and they'll get ready to get this season back on track this weekend.
We'll have a preview of that game with Garrett Walvert. While football is in the throes of their season, college basketball, Johnny Jones will start his practice on Wednesday.
Exactly.
We will, on Thursday. LSU baseball, fall practice has begun. Paul Mainieri will join us to talk about fall ball.
Exactly. The Tigers have been on a great run over the last 3 years. LSU has the most wins in the nation, 150 over the last 3 seasons, 3 straight national seeds. Tigers hoping to take it a little bit further this year, get back to Omaha, and hopefully bring home another big trophy.
Got a lot of good returning players. The always big question is the pitching staff, and we'll delve into that a little bit. And then we'll also talk a little bit about volleyball as that season's in full swing. Fran Flory and her crew doing well.
You know, they got a huge win at home on Sunday against Arkansas, a 5-set thriller. Hopefully that win will propel the Tigers to even bigger things as we progress through the year.
As Ed Sullivan would say, a really big shoe coming your way. We'll be right back on Tiger Tracks. Welcome back to Tiger Tracks on CST. We begin with the next opponent for LSU, the Florida Gators. You know, I was doing some research, and it turns out the school with the toughest remaining schedule in all of college football is
The Tigers.
The Tigers of
Yes.
LSU.
Yeah,
And Florida
exactly.
certainly ranks in there. A struggling Florida team, but it got a big win over Tennessee in Knoxville.
Yeah, Florida can play defense.
Yes,
they
they can.
win ugly. They've had a couple of very tight wins, and a triple overtime win over
That's
Kentucky,
right.
a 1-point victory over Tennessee, but it's a team that's battling still
Dangerous.
for an SEC title. They're a dangerous team. Garrett Walvert had a chance to talk to the Tigers and to Coach Miles about this week's matchup with Florida.
The LSU-Florida rivalry is one of the most anticipated and hotly contested games in college football each season. The Tigers and Gators have combined to win 4 national titles during the 2000s, and this made-for-TV matchup always makes for thrilling moments. Saturday night showdown in the Swamp is another opportunity for LSU to get back in the win column.
With a lot of football left to play, the need for our guys to understand the direction we're going, I think they will be very comfortable with. I can tell you that the character in that room, in that building, and the type of people that are there will certainly respond. And that, to me, is the reason that I have confidence in how we'll go forward.
Former LSU coordinator Will Muschamp drove the Gators to an 11-1 record in 2012 and an appearance in the Sugar Bowl. But in 2013, the Gators stumbled, falling to 4-8, and they spent this season trying to right the ship, starting with their defense. The Gators' defense sets the tone in 2014, allowing just 100 rushing yards per game, good for 15th best in the NCAA. Florida stuffed Tennessee in Knoxville, giving up just 25 yards rushing, while the Vols failed to score a single touchdown. In 5 games, the Florida defense has allowed just 1 rushing touchdown, tied for the fewest in all of college football. On offense, Florida has a pair of quarterbacks who direct the attack. Redshirt junior Jeff Driscoll was named the #1 starter out of fall camp and is 15-4 during his career in Gainesville. But after stalling at Tennessee, Coach Muschamp inserted true freshman Treon Harris, who led the Gators on 2 scoring drives. Harris completed 2 passes and rushed 4 times for 24 yards, helping set up the game-winning 49-yard field goal by Austin Harden. Harden's kick was the longest of his career and the 3rd longest in the SEC this season. Earlier this week, Harris was suspended indefinitely by head coach Will Muschamp, and it appears Driscoll will make the start against LSU. On the ground, junior running back Matt Jones is a big body at 6'2", 226 pounds, and has scored 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games. Against Tennessee, Jones ran for 114 yards and a 4th-quarter touchdown that helped secure the victory at Neyland Stadium. Sophomore wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson leads the Gators with 383 yards through the air and 3 touchdowns. The 6'2" Georgia native rang up 200 yards in a triple overtime win against Kentucky and is the first Florida receiver with back-to-back 100-yard games since Jabbar Gaffney in 2001. The LSU players know that Florida and the Swamp pose a unique challenge.
It was hot, it was loud. I mean, it's a great place to play, though, at the end of the day. I mean, we're going to be prepared to play there. I mean, we're going to have some noise in practice, so we're going to be prepared for the noise. Coach challenges everybody, young, old. Even I still get challenged by the coaches. Even the young players, even they come up with challenge. I mean, so it's a challenge for us. After what happened last week, it has to be a challenge.
Well, they have a great team. You know, it's an SEC play. Nothing's not going to be given to us. You know, everything is a tough, you know, it's going to be a dogfight regardless. So, you know, everybody just got to come out there with the same thing on the mind, you know, just ready to pull off this W.
In 2013, LSU held Florida without a touchdown for the first time since 1979, winning 17-6. True freshman Anthony Jennings scored his first career touchdown as a Tiger, running from 1 yard out in the north end zone, giving LSU a 14-3 lead. Jalen Mills would levy a 12-yard sack to help seal the win, and the Tigers ran out the clock on Florida in Death Valley. Head coach Les Miles improved to 5-4 against the Gators all time. LSU will play its 3rd game on the newly formed SEC Network, kicking off against the Gators in Gainesville at 6:30 p.m. Central. We'll have highlights from the Swamp and a look ahead to the home game against much-improved Kentucky next week. Reporting for Tiger Tracks, I'm Garrett Walbert.
Thank you, Garrett, very much. We appreciate it. Tough place to play, but LSU's gone in there before and won some ball games, so we'll see. We wish them all the best of luck.
Absolutely. The Tigers facing a big challenge. Jeff Driscoll, it appears, will be the starting quarterback, but he's a veteran. He's a guy who's led the Gators to several wins. As Garrett said, 15 wins in his career, so should be a challenge for the Tigers. Hopefully LSU gets it going in the right direction, gets that first SEC win.
From the gridiron to the diamond, Paul Mainieri will join us next here on Tiger Tracks. Welcome back to Tiger Tracks here on CSD alongside Bill Franquez. I'm Jordy Helperg, and yes, we're in the throes of football season. Basketball practice gets underway, and guess what? So is fall baseball practice. Joining us as he begins his 9th season as the head coach of the LSU Tigers, our good friend Paul Mainieri. Coach, Baseball. How about that? How's it going?
Has it really been 9 years? Oh my
well,
gosh.
You hadn't changed a bit.
No, I'm sure I haven't.
You look good. So fall practice. What is the major emphasis? I know coaches in springtime in football, they want to go over fundamentals and do that. What is the emphasis for baseball in the fall?
Well, there's really no difference, Jordy. Fall baseball to us is like spring football for football.
Okay.
We really every year have two goals. The first goal is to teach the kids to play the way that we want them to play.
Okay.
If you would have it the LSU way,
Right.
which really is a fundamentally sound, very aggressive, very confident, hustling style of play. And we want to teach them to play that way because they all come from different programs across the country, and they're taught the way that their high school coaches want them to play. So we have to get everybody on the same page, kind of into the same system. The other goal is simply to create a competitive environment so that we can see how players handle competitive environments.
Right.
And then as we go into the spring, we have a pretty good idea of who are the players and what roles that we'll be counting on them. Nothing is etched in stone, but it just gives you an idea going into the spring semester, even though we'll have another 4 or 5 weeks before the season begins in the spring.
Coach, a lot of veterans are back on the club, of course, a lot of new faces, and a new face on your staff. Andy Cannizzaro replaces Javi Sanchez. Javi is now embarking upon a career in business, and Andy comes over being a former Major League scout, former Yankee ball player. Tell us about his impact on the staff thus far.
Well, I think he's done a tremendous job already, Bill. You know, Javi not only had laid the ground, not only had delivered a great recruiting class, a #1 recruiting class, but really had laid the groundwork for the 2015 graduates as well. But Andy has come in and made that class better already. He's already had an impact, I should say, on the 2015 class. So I thought it was just about completed, but different things have happened, and you know, a step here and a different direction here, and so Andy has done a great job there, and I think on the field the players have really responded to him. They love him. He's a very personable, intelligent, knowledgeable for baseball kind of guy, and you know, he's got instant credibility having played in the major leagues.
Here's the question. Did you have to teach him the LSU way? Or did he know the LSU way?
Well, you know, there's a little bit that he has to adapt to as well. And, you know, we have a lot of meetings in the offices before we go on to the field. But, you know, every day that I talk to kids, you know, he's got his ear out and he's listening and he wants to hear. But I want to hear his ideas as well. So, you know, people forget that Andy is a young coach. He's only 35 years old, but this is his first year of being a full-time coach, even though he played right up until he was 30, and he's been a scout for the Yankees for the last 5 years. So, you know, it's new to him to be on the field with the players on an everyday basis like this.
He's coming into a pretty good setup. You've got 150 wins over the last 3 seasons. Nobody's come close to that. So what does that mean to you and to your players to be able to say that?
Well, proud of that. You know, I wish we'd have had 2 or 3 more national championships during that time too, because everybody knows what the goals are around here, Jordy. But yeah, we're proud that we've won more games than any other program in the country over the last 3 years, and I think we've been a national seed for 3 years running, Bill. I know you know those numbers better than I, but you know, the goal is to get to Omaha and to win when you get to Omaha. And you know, over the last 3 years, we've had a couple of disappointing endings, you know, where we didn't get to Omaha. We lost a couple years ago in a super regional when we were 1 game away, and then last year we seemingly in the driver's seat of the regional with 6 outs to go and couldn't finish the job there. And
Bill's getting sad now. Come on, Bill's starting to frown a little bit.
You know, Jordy, this is the thing. You know, the LSU baseball is probably the pinnacle program in all of college baseball.
I agree.
And in its rich, illustrious history of how many years of baseball? 150 or so?
Over 125 or so,
125. 6 national championships in 125 years. Right. Sometimes we lose sight of that.
It's
not easy to win national championships.
It is not easy at all. No, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we got to ask about the baseball, and then we got to ask about some key players coming back, which I think any coach in the country would like to have. We'll continue here on Tiger Tracks along with Coach Paul Mainieri, Bill Frankes. I'm Jordy Helper. We'll be back here on CST. Stay with us.
Tiger Tracks on CST is being brought to you by Capital One Bank, the official bank of all things Louisiana, and by Louisiana Propane Dealers. Get up to $1,200 in rebates on propane accessories. Find out how at louisianapropane.com.
we're back on Tiger Tracks as we continue with head coach Paul Mainieri talking fall baseball. I got to ask you, because we've asked you so many times about the baseball itself, lower seams. Layman's terms, tell me, what difference does it make? Have you seen a difference?
What's the matter with you? Haven't you not studied the physics of drag?
Bill won't play catch with me anymore, so I don't know what to do.
All right. Yeah, well, they think that because the seams are lower, there won't be as much drag on the ball. No landing gear on the baseball, so to speak. And so they think that the ball will carry more. I think the jury is still out, of course. But from what I've seen just in batting practice and the confidence level of the hitters, it seems to be making a difference. We have played 200 squad games and hit 3 home runs already.
Are the pitchers mad now? I mean, you can't win.
You can't win, can you? Well, I think everybody would like to see a little bit more life in the games, a little more offense. And, you know, like I said, we've hit 3 home runs in the first 200 squad games. That's only over a course of 11 innings. Well, I guess it'd be 22 innings because 2 teams are batting. So, but you know, there's been a few extra base hits. I think it's going to make a little bit of a difference, Jordy. Let's hope so.
Okay, here.
Coach, last year you had the National Pitcher of the Year in Aaron Nola, who of course is going to go on to a great Major League career. This year you have...
Now Paul's crying.
Now
I know, but I'm going to bring him back up.
Is there any way we can sign him to a new 3-year contract?
However, you have potentially the National Player of the Year this year in shortstop Alex Bregman. Alex already in his junior year. Such a great player and also a great leader. Talk about his how vital his role will be this year.
Well, you know, we've been so blessed to have him, as you know, Bill. Alex Bregman simply is one of the best players in the country. I mean, if he never got another hit, he's the best shortstop in the country defensively, but he's also going to be a mainstay in our lineup, of course, swinging the bat. His freshman year had a phenomenal year. Last year he went through kind of a sophomore slump there for a period of time, but then at the end of the year got hot again. And he went off and played in the summer for Team USA once again. And I just love Alex. He just loves the game more than anything. He just gives it everything he's got. He wants to win more than he wants to get hits, which is a very unselfish attitude. And so he's a tremendous leader. But we have other guys as well that have a couple years of experience. Mark Laird, Andrew Stevenson, Connor Hale, even though he's only had 1 year of experience as a junior college transfer, makes him a senior this year. Chris Chinea, Kramer Robertson, so many of these guys that have come back, you know, after a year, 2 years in the program already, I think are really ready to blossom. We could have a pretty good lineup this year. I'm pretty excited about the way they look so far.
Third base, a position you got to find. Ibarra was pretty good for you. He's gone, so what are you thinking there?
Jordy, Ibarra was the best defensive third baseman I've had in 32 years of coaching. That's a pretty big statement to make. You know, he didn't have as good a year offensively last year as he had his first year with us, but he still was a really good defensive player. And I've always thought third base was the most underrated position on the field. You don't really realize how important it is till you don't have one. Unfortunately, we were reminded of that in 2010. We went through about 6 third basemen. And I really believe had we had a good, solid third baseman, we'd gone to Omaha that year. But it didn't happen. So we're going to try to avoid having a repeat of that situation. I'm really confident in all 3 of the third basemen that we're looking at there. Greg Dykman's a freshman out of Brother Martin in New Orleans. Danny Zardone's a returning player, and then we could play Connor Hale there if we choose to. And so far, all 3 of them have looked good at third base. I don't know yet what the best combination is going to be. Some of it will depend on, is Kramer Robertson ready to be our everyday second baseman? Some of it depends on what our first base situation is. Do we want Chinea and Civic and Papierski in the lineup?
Nice to have options.
So we've got a few options there, and I'm excited about that. We'll find a good player at third base, no doubt about it.
You mentioned a couple of names, Mike Papierski, Greg Dykman, members of that #1 recruiting class. Don't have time to go through every player, but talk about the impact that they'll make this year.
Well, most of the attention has been on the pitchers in that class, and rightly so, because we have some good ones. Jake Godfrey and Alex Lang are 2 guys that are going to come in and really make a huge impact in our program. But Papierski, the 2 Jordan boys out of Barb High School, Greg Dykman, Grayson Bird are all really good everyday players. Hopefully we're in a position where we don't have to throw them right in there. We've got enough veteran players back, but we're going to want to bring them along because after this year we lose 8 position players. Those kids that are freshmen this year are going to have to step in next year certainly and be mainstays on our team. So we want to make sure we groom them properly.
Tough being a coach. Got to think about the perfect present, but you got to think ahead down the road. It's God bless you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, we need to spend more time. We need another segment so we can talk pitching. But anyway, Paul, thank you. Have fun in the fall.
Great to be with you
All
guys,
right, you're
as
the
always.
best. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more here on Tiger Tracks.
Tiger Tracks on CST is being brought to you by Capital One Bank, the official bank of all things Louisiana, and by Louisiana Propane Dealers. Get up to $1,200 in rebates on propane accessories. Find out how at louisianapropane.com.
We're back. That was fun with Paul Mainieri. He's always fun. But we shift gears now to volleyball. So from football to baseball, now to volleyball, indoor on the court. And Fran Flory got a big win over the weekend, and that their season's unfolding pretty well now.
Absolutely. They're really into the heart of the SEC schedule now. Every weekend is so competitive in Southeastern Conference volleyball. Witness last Sunday at the PMAC, a 5-set win for LSU over Arkansas.
Yeah.
Huge victory for the Tigers. Hopefully it propels them to even more wins as we progress through the season. Garrett Wolver had a chance to report on LSU volleyball.
Fresh off a victory against Arkansas, Fran Flory and the LSU volleyball team are poised for another run through the Southeastern Conference. The Tigers returned all but one starter from last season's NCAA tournament team and now turn their attention to league play.
It's the first match all year that we've gotten pressed, that we've succeeded in tight matches that we've made plays. You know, we've had to rely on errors of opponents, and Arkansas played really well and pushed us against the wall, and we were able to fight back and succeed. And hopefully, I would anticipate that allows us to gain some confidence and allows us to understand that we can really still have a very special season.
That win was crucial for us. I mean, coming in, we were 0-3. And we didn't want to lose. And Arkansas was a must-have win, according to Fran. I think no matter who we played, whether it was the best or the worst in the league, playing Arkansas and getting over that hump as a team was a great first start.
The home court advantage really set in for us late in the 5th set and in tight situations that we had. And whenever it started getting intense, the crowd, you could just feel it, and it really just propelled us through to finish strong.
The win against Arkansas, it really meant a lot because it was our first win, and we played like a team, especially at the end, especially when we were down by 2. We really had to come together as a team and push together, and it really worked out for us.
True freshman Gina Tillis has exploded onto the scene in league play, giving LSU a deadly weapon on the left side.
I think she's been great. She came in and she has literally killed it, and I mean, her stats show it. She's been a great energy on the court. And I mean, she's somebody that we can go to and rely on when we need game point, just like she did us for game point of Arkansas. I mean, she is a powerhouse, and it's hard to believe that she's only a freshman.
The energy she brings to the team and just the sheer power she has really gets us going and keeps us like in games hard whenever we don't necessarily have Bree to come in and just smash balls. She really adds that power that we needed.
I've been nervous. I really was nervous because it's like big SEC. I'm really small for my size, and my team was just like, just go out there, like swing. So my teammates and the coaches really been supportive, and I always go to Mal or Maddie. They were really helping me out through the season, especially Mal's been setting her since her freshman year, so she knows what, if I was nervous, she knew how to help me out.
Junior right side hitter Katie Leak hasn't missed a single match in 3 seasons and is a versatile part of Coach Flory's attack.
We put so much pressure and have so much confidence in Katie that we tend to overuse her. If you look at what she hits and how many digs and all of that, she's not going to be at the top of our roster or in the top of the SEC, but she is one of the most important components to our team.
Junior transfer Emily Earle came to LSU from Texas Tech and is logging minutes in the middle after rehabbing an injury this summer.
You know, coming back after shoulder surgery, it's been a rough little road, but I'm happy to be on the court helping the team. You know, I'm in the middle right now. I used to be in the outside, so I'm just willing to do anything I can to help the team, and whether that's being an outside or a middle, I'm ready to step up and do that, and I'm fully embracing the role that I'm taking on right now, and I love it.
The Tigers have the bulk of their SEC schedule remaining, including 5 matches at the Maravich Assembly Center. Reporting for Tiger Tracks, I'm Garrett Wolverton.
You see the excitement. They get up. It's fast-paced. It's fun to watch. Get out to the Maravich Assembly Center and watch Fran Flory's volleyball club.
Absolutely. It's a great environment there. As the players said, that the home crowd really made a difference in that 5th set, helped to inspire the team to a big win.
Time to put the chomp and get rid of the Gators. Good luck to Les Miles and the Tigers.
Exactly.
We'll be back next week, same time, same station, to recap it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to talking about a big victory for the
You're
Tigers.
laughing. You're
First one in
laughing.
the SEC.
He's Bill. I'm Jordy. See you next time on Tiger Tracks.